Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is my birthday. Yay! But when I'm gonna post this video, it's gonna be like 2-3 months later probably, so it doesn't really matter. So I know I keep on saying I'm so sorry for being so late in every video, but I'm really so busy with my studies that I barely get time to do YouTube work. Anyway, I'm back today with another very interesting video and I'm really excited about this, and I hope you all are gonna like this. But before we start this video, for those of you all who don't know what this series is about, I'm actually doing a series where I talk about people and incidences in history that are lost in history basically. If you are interested in videos like that, actually I have done 2 videos on this series already and I have uploaded it. If you go check them out, if you are interested in videos like this, then maybe consider subscribing and hit the notification bell on so that you don't miss any videos from me. You can also follow me on my social medias, the link will be in the description box. Now, without further delay, we're gonna start the video. So today I'm going to talk about Caterina Sforza, who was called the Tigress of Forli. Now I would like to apologize beforehand because in this story there are some Italian names and I'm really sorry if I mispronounce them because I'm not Italian. And also this video doesn't cover Caterina's entire life because it's not possible to cover someone's entire life in one video and one short video. So this is basically some interesting facts about Caterina, and I've also divided I've also divided the video in different sections so that it is easier for you to understand. So without further delay, let's begin. I can't talk today for some reason. Okay, so starting with some basic info. Now Caterina Sforza was the Countess of Forlì. She was born in the year 1463 in Milan, Italy. She died on 28th May 1509 in Florence, Italy. Her father's name was Galeazzo Maria Sforza, who was the Duke of Milan, and her mother was Lucrezia Landriani, and Caterina was the illegitimate child of Galeazzo and Lucrezia. Now Caterina was a very bold and courageous woman. She learned from her paternal grandmother to be proud of their warlike ancestors, to be bold when it came to using the army, and to be astute in government. How did she become the Lady of Forli? In the year 1473, Caterina Sforza was married to Girolamo Riario. Now Girolamo and Caterina, they had the favor of Pope Sixtus IV. Now after the death of Pope Sixtus IV, there was anarchy and people were trying to take advantage of the situation and inflict damage to the Riario family. Caterina at that time, who was 7 months pregnant, fought a war on behalf of her husband. She crossed the river Tiber on horseback to occupy Castel Sant'Angelo. I don't know if the pronunciation is correct. Ma! Disorder in the area increased and the Sacred College asked Girolamo to leave Rome, and he was offered the lordship of Imola and Forlì. So that's how Girolamo, Caterina's husband, got Imola and Forlì. On 14th April 1488, Girolamo was a victim of a conspiracy hatched by the Orsis and he was killed in that conspiracy. The Orsis held Caterina and her children captive. Caterina said that she wanted to persuade the Castellan Tommaso Feo so that they would surrender. The Orsis believed her and let her go inside the fort, and she left her children still hostage to the Orsis. That's why the Orsis believed her. But once she was inside the fort, she started cussing the Orsis, using threats at them, and there's a rumor that the Orsis, when the Orsis threatened to kill her children, she stood in the walls of the fortress and she lifted up her skirt and exposed her private parts, and she said, do it if you want to, hang them in front of me. Here I have what's needed to make others. Now this is a very popular story. You guys have, like, if you have played Assassin's Creed, you guys have seen this scene there, and it's not clear whether it was a real story or if it was just a rumor. But historians sometimes say that Caterina did say that she was pregnant. Whether it was true or not, it did work. Shocked by this kind of response from Caterina, the Orsis, they did not do any harm to the Riario children, and with the help of her uncle Ludovico il Moro, Caterina was successful in defeating her enemies and getting back her dominion. So after this, since her husband Girolamo, who was the actual ruler of Forlì and Imola, he passed away, now the legal heir was their son. But he was a minor, that's why Caterina became the regent of their eldest son Ottaviano on 38th April 1488. After that, she had 2 more marriages. In the year 1488, she secretly married Giacomo Feo. Now Giacomo grew extremely infamous because of his cruelty, and he was again a victim of a conspiracy and he was killed in the conspiracy. In 1497, she again secretly married Giovanni de Medici il Popolano. Another interesting story of Caterina's life that has been talked about, and people all across Italy have appreciated her for her solo fight, was her encounter with Cesare Borgia. Cesare Borgia, when he started the Battle of Forlì, he sieged Caterina's fort. Caterina refused all offers of peace, and she was captured, and she even tried to attack Cesare when they were alone. Single-handedly she tried to attack Cesare, but she didn't succeed. Because she put up a solo fight, she fought on her own, it has been admired. Her courage, bravery has been admired all over Italy. Niccolo Machiavelli also writes that there were many songs composed to honor her bravery. Later, she was accused of poisoning the Pope and killing him. She faced a long trial because of that, but after the Borgia power fell, she was freed, and she wanted to take back her power, but her people didn't want her. She dedicated the last few years of her life to her children. She also did some experiments in alchemy and recorded those in a book which was called Gli Experimenti. The book dated back to the year 1500, and it contains a total of 454 recipes, and roughly 66 of them were cosmetic related, 358 of them were medicinal, and 38 of them were alchemical. Talking about her life to a monk, she said, "If I could write everything that happened, I would shock the world." On April 1509, Caterina started suffering from severe pneumonia. Initially, it seemed like she was recovering, but there was a relapse of the disease. After that, she made her will and she arranged for her burial. So can you imagine what a strong-willed woman she was? She knew that she was nearing her end, so she made her will and she arranged for her burial. On 28th May 1509, at the age of 46, Caterina Sforza, who was famously known as the Tigress of Forli for her bravery and courage, passed away. She was buried in a tomb in the chapel Le Murate in Florence. It was a convent of some nuns who were friends with Caterina. But in the 1830s, these nuns, they were forced to leave the chapel, and in 1845 this entire property was redesigned to be a prison. During this renovation, unfortunately, Caterina's bones disappeared and her tomb was lost forever. Niccolo Machiavelli, he did write on Caterina. He mentioned her in Discourses on Livy. He also mentioned her in his Florentine histories, and also briefly mentioned her in his book The Prince. Now, I have not read the Florentine histories or the Discourses on Livy, but I did read The Prince, especially for this video. Actually, I had the book for a long time, but I just couldn't read it because of my studies. But when I planned on doing this video, I was like, no, I'm gonna read the book first. I don't know, I didn't even know that he mentioned Caterina in the book, but since they are related, Niccolo met Caterina, I thought maybe he wrote something in the book. So I read the entire book. There was just one brief instance where he mentioned her. It was in the chapter where Niccolo Machiavelli was talking about whether fortresses are helpful or not. There he mentions that there have been no examples of fortresses really being helpful, but the exception was the example of Caterina Sforza, where she took refuge in a fortress and could survive the rebels' assaults while she waited for help to arrive from Milan, and then after that she took back control again. This was the brief mention of Caterina on Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince. Historian Elizabeth Lev actually wrote a biography on Caterina, and she mentions that Niccolo Machiavelli disliked Caterina, which is quite obvious because Niccolo, when he met Caterina, she was a young diplomat, so the encounter wasn't really pleasant. She was quite popular during that time, and she was described by her contemporaries as sophisticated, beautiful, and a very witty woman. So all in all, she was a rebel. She was brave and fearless, and can you imagine going to fight a war in your 7th month of pregnancy? That is something which blew my mind, and that's when I got really, I got really interested when I saw her in Assassin's Creed, and the way they showed her character so bold and so courageous.
Good people of Roma, stay strong! You will be free, your time will come, I swear it!
Then I started reading about her. That's when I came to know about this story, and also her research, her work on alchemy. It interested me so much. She's one of the very interesting characters I have ever seen in history. That's how I really got fascinated and attracted towards her, I might even say. Okay, so thank you guys for listening to my story. I hope I could instill some interest in you, and if you want, you can study on her, because I'm surely going to read Elizabeth Lev's book. And thank you so much for watching this video. If you have made this far, you are amazing. Thank you for the love that you guys are showing me. My last video did pretty well, and I'm so happy. It makes me so happy. Thank you so much. I'm really enjoying this series. I'm actually planning on another series which I'll do very soon. Maybe like I'll post another video on this series, and then I'll come up with a new series, and I'm going to continue with this series because I'm having a lot of fun doing all the studies and stuff. Thank you so much for being here with me. I won't prolong this outro anymore. I don't want to make it boring. I love you guys so much. I hope you all are staying safe and you all are having an amazing day. Please take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, and be happy. I haven't done a video in such a long time. I think I was really awkward in this video. I'm so sorry. I'm really out of practice.